Greetings and welcome back to my home studio. I'm going with Gretsch Gear for now. Unless someone could think of a better name, that's what I'm calling this segment or series when I'm not on the road. Gretsch Gear. It's not great, but it's going to have to do for now. I was really excited to get that first video out with that Jazzmaster. Thought that was cool. For the second guitar in this series, today I'm going to be talking about the Gretsch... Put another ding in it, no big deal. Are we still in tune? Pretty much. We're going to be talking about the Gretsch Broadkaster LX. This hollow body, semi-hollow I should say, is pretty killer. This was given to me by Gretsch back in April, I think. Late April. It was before we went to Australia this year, and I took it to Australia. Not this one in particular. That had like a loaner. They got some more in, and they swapped it out for me. So a huge shout out to James Hayden at Gretsch here in Nashville. You know, I've been wanting to have a relationship with Gretsch for a long, long time. Got my first Gretsch, my anniversary back in, let me be careful this time. I'm kind of a klutz with gear. That's why my gear's beat up, but I like it. It looks cool. Yeah, I've had my Gretsch anniversary, which I'll do an episode on at some point. I've had that since 2002, I believe. Years ago in my old band, the Supertones, I had a guitar, Gibson 135. It was like a 2001, I think. And it got stolen on the road. This is why you insure your gear, by the way. So it was insured. Got a check for it. And at that time, I had really gotten into the band The Living End, and like I said before, I was into the Stray Cats. So those were kind of my two Gretsch guitar gods or whatever, Chris Chaney and Brian Setzer. And I was like, man, I need a Gretsch. It's just so cool, and they just look rad. And so that's where my love of Gretsch started, really. Earlier this year, when our other guitar player with Max McNown's band, Lee, introduced me to Kevin from Fender, who it turns out we had met before, and we actually played on stage together at this thing called Grunge Night here in Nashville. I told him, you know, we talked about the Jazzmaster, and I said, man, what I really love is just to have a relationship with Gretsch. Like, I've always been a huge fan. I toured that anniversary a lot, played it on some recordings and whatnot. He said, well, let me talk to James. He's not here today, kind of thing. So we hung out with Kevin. We went to rehearsal. By the end of the day, and I told him at the time we were about to go play the Today Show. 'Cause I'm a little bit hurt, but I'm not free. I ain't saying that you never took a toll on me. His first TV appearance, my second, no big deal. And so we're like wrapping up rehearsal for our Australia. It was kind of for Australia and prepping a bit for our fall tour, which we just finished. He calls me, Kevin, and he says, hey, I talked to James. He'd love to meet you. Like, can you come by tomorrow morning? I said, absolutely. And he said, hey, have you seen this new Broadkaster LX that they're releasing next month? I said, no. So I went online, looked at it. It was this guitar. He said, man, he would love for you to play it on the Today Show, and if you do, he'll give it to you. And I had mentioned to Kevin, I really want a Gretsch Silver Falcon, you know, and I was like ready to save up some money, pay artist costs, whatever. Like, I'm not into free gear for the sake of free gear. But like I said in the last video, when you develop relationships with people, there's a give on both sides. You know, if they give you a guitar, you got to give them something back, like content. In today's day and age, it's content usually. Photos from the road, video clips, whatever. I'm not being asked to do this. I just been wanting to do this kind of series on my YouTube channel for a while. So this is just something extra that I'll send to him. And if they want to use it, great. If not, no worries. I go to meet James the next day. Hell of a dude. We've since become good buddies. And, you know, we even hang and spend time together outside of just guitar stuff. And those are the kind of relationships I like with gear companies. Just about every gear person that I've worked with over my 27-year touring career, I'm like still friends with. You know, back when I had an endorsement with Guild Guitars, my rep there, we're still friends. My old rep from D-Drum, when I was a touring drummer with Reliant K, like Felix, him and I are still friends. And that's how I've always approached it. I think that's the best way to approach it. Fender's huge, obviously, but, you know, there are other companies that are big that, you know, you might, as a smaller artist or player like me, you might just get lost in the shuffle. And it's a shame, but I've always looked for companies that really just want to work together, you know, and it feels cool that they see value in what I do, you know, the same way I see value in what they're making. I meet with James at Gretsch. He shows me this guitar. I play it. I'm like, wow, this thing's amazing. This is awesome. And he said, dude, I'll tell you what, if you play on the Today Show this guitar, you can keep it, and then I'd love to get you hooked up with a Silver Falcon for the road, which I'll do a video on that at some point. That guitar's in the trailer in a guitar vault right now, so it's not here at home. It's in my touring rig, as we call it. So if you want some industry lingo, the tour rig. Our A rig, if you will. He's like, we have a Silver Falcon here, but it needs some work. I'm going to send it off to so-and-so to get it ready for him. Like, wow, this is great. The original one he gave me was a loaner, identical guitar, no difference. I said, hey, we're about to leave for Australia, and all these shows are sold out. I think we did, 8 shows over there, and all of them were packed, sold out. Max does really well in Australia. So I took this and my Black Fender Jazzmaster down under, if you will. Every morning, the next morning after a show, when our photographer would send us photos from the night before, I would just gather 4 or 5 photos of me playing this guitar and send them to James, and he was ecstatic. And people that run their socials for Gretsch were stoked on the photos. That was just a little thing of me doing my part in a way to work together and say thank you for this. I did tell him too, I was like, just so you know, this guitar is going to have to get checked everywhere. It's before I got my little mini vault from Gator, which I should do a little video on those. Those are killer. The guitar survived, and we got all the way back. He was really excited, and then we had played the Today Show at that point. And then when I got back from Australia, I went down to Gretsch. I brought back the original loaner Broadcaster, and then he had a new one in, had them set it up. It was awesome. And that's what this one is. So I've since now toured with this one since sometime in May, whenever I got back. It's been in my tour rig for a while. I brought it home because I wanted to do a video on it, and also just give it a little more love at home, because I only played it on maybe 4 or 5 songs. And that last tour we were doing 20 to 23 songs a set. I wanted to bring it back home, and here we are. And it already looks like I've given it some good wear and tear. Like the hardware is already kind of like not corroding. It's just it just looks like I've played it a lot, and I have. Oftentimes I would also bring this guitar backstage as like a warm-up guitar. I never really warmed up in the past. I know a lot of like metal guys, especially like if you're a fast player of any kind, like really warm up. And I'm not. I mean, I can play some kind of fast stuff. I always joke that I was like a poser, or like I faked my way through being in a metal band, but I just played like me, whatever. So yeah, this was a warm-up guitar backstage, and then during our set change I'd put it back in my vault and then play it, like I said, on 4 or 5 songs. Man, this is such a great guitar. It doesn't often, and if for any of you that tour out there, certain guitars don't often work for the artist you're playing for. This guitar is kind of one of them, not fully, which is why I played it on some songs, but not all of them. With Max's music, I need a little more of that twang, not full-on country chicken picking stuff. I can't really do chicken picking. That's like the Brent Masons of the world do that kind of stuff. I just wasn't brought up to do that, and I've never really had the desire to get into that world. So yeah, I mostly need kind of stuff that's a little more twangy, not too thin. So that's why I like Jazzmasters and Gretches, really any Fender really, and most Gretches absolutely work for what we're doing on the road. This is way more of like a rock machine. Like the pickups definitely look like similar to most like Gretsch pickups. Not quite Filtertrons, not quite humbuckers though. They are humbuckers and so are Filtertrons, but these ones are interesting. They slightly have the Gretsch thing, but it's more like, it's like kind of more their version of a 335. Are you really back again? My dog, she wants to make an appearance in every video. Hey, come here. Where are you? She's down here. Hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? She just wants to be in all the videos. All right, I got to do this, okay? I think I did knock it out of tune a little bit earlier when I smacked it on my desk. Let's tune real quick. All right. Sorry, I'm in tune now. It did knock it out of tune just a little bit. Go figure. You can smack a headstock on a desk. It's going to happen. But anyways, these pickups, they're killer pickups. But, I mean, it is straight up like a rock and roll kind of, Go a little higher gain for you. I'm playing with the same little board, by the way. This is the slower gain. A little compression maybe. So yeah, that's kind of what they sound like. That's just the bridge position, but the pickups are, what are they called? Let me take a gander real quick. I keep forgetting the names of these. These are called Pro Twin 6 pickups. I'm 99% sure Tim Shaw developed these, who works actually here in Nashville at the Fender showroom. It was a trip. You know who Tim Shaw is, like, in the guitar world of pickups. Like, he's a very, very innovative, amazing pickup builder and designer. But anyways, I've gotten to meet Tim a couple times, and I'm pretty sure he developed these for this guitar. And they're, like I said, they're really killer. Another few cool features about this guitar: if you've ever owned a guitar with a Bigsby, the little poles stick out behind here. That's where you attach the string, and then you wrap it around it, in this case underneath this bar, this little roller bar, and then back to, you know, the headstock like normal. Bigsby has since done a thing where this bar right here is string through, so there's actually holes. Instead of the posts sticking out, there's actually holes in each one, so you just run it through that, then wrap it around, do the normal thing. It definitely saves some time, and if you haven't changed strings on a Bigsby and you're thinking about getting one, it is very annoying when you first get one. I've been changing strings on these since 2002, so I'm pretty used to it, and I can do it pretty quick. But there's a couple tricks you can do. But if you get a newer Gretsch, sometimes, like my Electromatic Jet Gretsch still has like the poles. This one here has the string through, and it's nice. Saves you some time and frustration for sure. So if you frustration being the key word, I think, because you'll be sitting there like tuning up the string and not realizing that the ball end of the string is about to pop off that post, and then it does, and you have to like undo everything and start over, or even just use a new string because you've already coiled it or whatever. So that's a really nice feature. The gold hardware on this looks really nice. I really dig it. I'm not a huge gold hardware guy unless it's on a black or white guitar. Anything else, I'm looking around. I don't have anything with gold hardware. I have this Washburn prototype hollow body that almost 20 years ago they sent me that they never made, and it's white with gold hardware. It's kind of their version of a Gretsch White Falcon in a way, and I think that looks cool, but I've never been a fan of gold hardware on anything other than black or white. But I love the tone of gold on the pickguard. These bindings are really nice. Just they're slightly aged looking, that kind of cream white. And there's, if you look at if I can get this close enough, there is like a secondary little binding line in there that's really cool. It's just a really, like, I don't know, everything from like it's a classy looking guitar to just like a rock and roll looking guitar. It's very cool, is all I'm going to say. Not all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep talking about it. Another thing this thing has, which is awesome, are locking tuners right here. So I've never owned any guitars with locking tuners until this and the Silver Falcon. And I was a little nervous at first. I'm like, I know they're popular and people use them. I've had zero issues. I'm a fan. I've been converted. Now, I'm not going to put those on every guitar I own, but I do love the ease of it. I mean, once you get the string up here, you run it through the post up here, and then you just lock it in place and just tune it up. It's like that simple. It's kind of wild. It made me nervous though, but I've like beat up this thing on stage, and it's, the tuning stability is pretty dang good. Obviously, you start messing with the Bigsby enough, and some of them will start to go out of tune. If your guitar's not set up properly, it's definitely going to go out of tune. I mean, the second you hit it, it's going to go out of tune. But I've had really good luck with this guitar and the tuning stability of it. What else do I say about this thing? It's got a center block, so it's got some good weight to it. This is kind of, I would say this is Gretsch's answer to a 335. Obviously, very similar body shape. They did, like most Gretsch's, this area here, the crevasse, we'll call it, the cutaway. Normally, they're not this deep, I guess, or they don't go this far down. Usually, it's tough to get past like the 15th fret, if you're lucky, on a normal Gretsch, on that cutaway. Which I can show on a different guitar in another video. But so this is cut a lot lower, like a 335. So for anyone that's wanting to get way up there, they can do it. I got giant hands, so I don't love playing up there often. Like getting the High notes, not really for me, unless I really have to. There's a couple moments in Max's set where I got to get up decently high, and on my Silver Falcon Gretsch, I mean, my thumb's hitting here, and I'm like really trying to get up there. But this one has been fantastic. Can't say enough good stuff about it. These run about $2,600, I think. I know that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me. But they seem to have done well. I know they were hard to get at one point, so there's a lot of Gretsch fans out there that are digging these, which is cool. And it's a cool, like, slightly branch off guitar for them. You know, they were very known in country, rockabilly, stuff like that. Now, I don't know if they're trying to get more non-rockabilly guys playing them or whatever, or gals. This, I mean, if you're in a rock band, you cannot go wrong with this guitar. It's really a killer guitar. Here's what the pickups sound like. You already heard the bridge pickup. So yeah, a little bit of low gain bridge pickup. Here's the middle. And then the neck. Really smooth, slightly muddy, like in a good way. This depends on what you're playing it on, I guess. There, like I said earlier, with some of Max's songs, I can't really use this on certain songs. It's almost too muddy, but there are other songs where it absolutely works perfectly, and we don't have any guitar techs right now, so I got to make changes on my own, which is no big deal. It's just when you have someone, it's like the second you turn around and take this guitar off, someone's ready to hand you another guitar. So I think I might end up playing it on different songs once we have a tech or something, just if I have to make a quick switch. I kind of forego playing certain guitars on certain songs because of that reason. Because a lot of times we'll butt up songs so close to each other, just like as one's ringing out, we're starting drummer's about to count off the next song or whatever. So, but yeah, like I said, this guitar is one of those guitars that kind of has its place on depending on what kind of music you're playing, what type of song, and just kind of what you're going for. But here's a little higher gain on each pickup. We'll stick with the neck for now. There's middle. And of course, the mighty bridge pickup. Yeah, there you go. The Gretsch Broadkaster LX. You might be wondering, isn't the Broadcaster a Fender name? And you're not incorrect. But the Broadcaster, I think, if I remember right, originally actually started with Gretsch drums. And then Fender used Broadcaster for one of their guitars. And then Gretsch brought it back for this guitar line. Like I said, really, really great series of guitars. It comes in a Cadillac green too. It's like a darker green. They also have a junior version, so there's two others that are smaller body. I'm pretty sure they're single cutaway as opposed to double like this. Cannot thank James from Gretsch enough for getting this to me, and the Silver Falcon, which we'll touch on in another video. But yeah, I really dig this. I'm already seeing some like some gunk in the frets. Just I don't clean my guitars a lot. I'll wipe them down real quick, maybe if it's a sweaty show. But I don't know. I like the dirt and the grime to kind of get in there and make it look, played. I don't really baby my guitars. If I had like not priceless, but if I had something like, let's say even a 60s Les Paul, I'm having to say 59 because that's like 5 times more than I spent on my house. But if I had something that expensive, I wouldn't probably take it on the road, unless I had a situation like a Jason Isbell where you've got your tech that you trust, and that guitar flies with you everywhere or stays on the bus with you, and it's not just in a vault or whatever. Because even guitars in vaults, can get some damage, nothing crazy, unless like what happened years ago when I toured with Kings of Leon, where a forklift went through one. That was fun. Thankfully, it didn't hit any guitars, but it damaged the case. But it was interesting. Little side story here. The interesting part was we opened up that vault. It was the one that Nacho, their other tech, takes care of, or not takes care of it, but no, actually it was the one I had. So I had my guitars in there, and then it had Caleb's, which really he only plays one guitar live, which is this Gibson 325 walnut. Look up any photo of them live from any year, and that's the guitar he's playing. It's the same one. And he's got 2 backups, but he never touches them. And the edge of that fork was about yay far away from the back of the headstock. It would have just severed it. Thankfully it did not, and he's still playing it to this day. Gretsch Broadkaster LX, really fun guitar. I'm excited to keep playing it and to have it around for years and years to come. Thank you again to James and to Kevin from Fender for introducing me and James. I don't know what else to say about this thing. It's just awesome. Really fun guitar. And I'll get into a lot of guitars, that have a little more history with me. I mean, the last one, the Jazzmaster, I got a week ago, and then this one I got a few months ago. But I want to kind of talk about the newest stuff first because I'm excited about it, and I want to be able to help spread the word of the new lines that Fender and Gretsch have. So there you go. That's about it for this one. See you next time. Goodbye.